I am Bob Copperstone, a former newspaper journalist, and I like to write stories that mostly deal with my childhood in the mid-20th century. During my 80-plus years, I have accumulated troves of facts and memories as I experienced them here in Wahoo and surrounding Saunders County. These vignettes are presented as true and factual to the best of my recollection, and I wish to pass them on before they blink, flicker, and go dark forever. This is Growing Up Wigwam, as told by Uncle Bob. Wahoo's new breed of downtown entrepreneurs. Since I was a kid playing on its rooftops 70-some years ago, Wahoo's downtown skyline profile hasn't changed all that much. The buildings, with a few exceptions, remain standing stoutly in place, much as I remember them. But there are lots of changes to the contents of the mostly brick structures. The gradual transformation over fairly recent years may have escaped the notice of longtime residents, but the eclectic diversions have made Wahoo a more interesting place to visit, shop, and live. During the 1960s through 80s, and before I moved back to Wahoo from California in 1990, I spent almost annual vacations here. And with each visit, I noted some increasing numbers of businesses empty out and post for sale window signs. I remember while many people at my work took vacations in exotic places, I would always fly to my hometown. One time, a newly hired reporter asked me where I was going on vacation this year. "I'm going back to Wahoo again," I said. "Ah, yes, Wahoo," he said. "The islands are beautiful this time of year." I just agreed and moved on. The most numerous varieties of the latest local shops are the boutiques, with scatterings of crafts, antiques, clothing, beauty shops, and the like. There's even a shop that specializes in handmade clothing for children. These days, we're even a stop on an annual statewide boutique jaunt tour. That means it's altogether possible that many out-of-towners spend more money, know more about us, and enjoy our downtown more than some of our actual residents. One of my favorites is a real live letterpress print shop, Persimmon Press, with an actual hand-feed printing press. I especially like that one because I was a journeyman printer-pressman in the 1960s. What with all the redecorated specialty shops, I am amazed that the boutique bunch hasn't snapped up the old Clara's Cafe. That tiny stucco, Alamo-looking, cabin-sized building squats between the Chinese restaurant and the tall wooden front barber beauty shop. It's got all the bones to become what couldn't possibly avoid being called adorable or even cute as a button. In recent decades, it had seemed abandoned and filled with junk. It had once been a small Wahoo laundromat. The sign is still on display in the window. For a few years before a large new one was built several years ago a few doors west. The stucco paint is scabby, the windows cracked, and the whole building is decrepit. But in recent weeks, the interior has been removed, possibly, I hope, signaling a sale or renovation. There had once been a rumor of a multi-story brick building going up in that lot, but so far nothing has come to that. Meanwhile, Wahoo's little shops continue to keep their posted hours. I'm sure the first-time merchants are not raking in the money, but that seems unimportant in the long run. The excitement and pride of keeping one's own shop and mixing with fellow entrepreneurs make the work and worry worth it. A steady flow of citywide sidewalk sales and topical festivities during the kinder months keep the camaraderie flowing and the mood light. Last fall, my sister Rochelle and other members of our family visited here from California, and I joined them as they darted from shop to shop, reminiscing about what businesses used to be in this building or that one, and marveling about the warm and friendly downtown atmosphere. We topped off the tour with a church duck dinner in Prague that left us catching our breaths, taking in the small town magic. Whatever the future holds for the enterprising shopkeepers, the new downtown will continue to be very much better than the stagnant gloom of the earlier darkened windows of vacant businesses. Here are 16 of a partial list of shops that have helped revitalize downtown Wahoo's once stalled retail trade. Anthology Soaps, Dee's Boutique, Found and Flora, Good Life Boutique, Husband's Approval, J.D. Craft Shack, Persimmon Press, Redbone Ridge, Rivalry Apparel, Senior Center Thrift Store, Sadie's Treasure Chest, Sassafras Galleria, Scraps and Such Company, Simon Says Antiques, Wahoo Mercantile Antiques, and Wahoo Senior Center Thrift Store. There are other one-of-a-kind shops not listed here. Take a tour around the new downtown Wahoo and discover them for yourself. If you haven't visited for quite a while, you may not recognize some of it. To be continued.
Growing Up a Wigwam is written by Bob Copperstone and produced by Chris Beatty. Everything is recorded in lovely Wahoo, Nebraska.